and cheers. So if you're not feeling productive, this is going to be the move for you. Or even if you are feeling productive, we're going to take a very strategic approach here, doing our body doubling sessions. This is really something I was exposed to with ADHD oriented or neurodivergent people in mind, but this is really productive, honestly, for all of us. The strategy here is we're going to be doing a Pomodoro timer styled effect, taking it in rounds. Basically, this is where I use my martial arts kind of analogies. We take rounds of work followed by rounds of intentional rest or transitioning. We're going to do 2 rounds today. I'm going to be a little bit more refined. So we're going to do 20 minutes of work followed by 5 minutes of rest. And we're going to do a second round, and then we're going to get out of here. So I'm going to set the timer up. It's kind of like a nice little pop-up. I find it helpful. I'm basically going to just use my watch here. If you don't have a watch or anything like that, you can use, I'm also going to put a timer on the screen for those watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube and Twitch. For Amazon and TikTok, I'm going to be your reference point here. But don't worry, I got us. Let me look for, I'm just pulling up the Pomodoro timer. They kind of move things around when I updated my watch, but this is the one thing I like about this like T-Rex watch. They have all the cool timers. Like I got my Pomodoro timer ready to rock. We got 19 minutes on. I'm gonna pull up 20-minute timer. I don't think I can screen share on TikTok, otherwise I would, but let's screen share here on everywhere else. And on Amazon, again, I'll keep us posted on the time, but we are gonna be going boop right there. Let's kind of just change our sizing, as it were. There you go. Perfect. So we're going to get after it. Again, the goal is to tackle 1 to 3 items as we're going through it. And then if you guys have questions, I have some products here. If you're watching on Amazon or even on TikTok, I have some products in the carousel you could check out. If you have questions on them, feel free to let me know. I'll gladly speak to whatever you have questions on, whether it's workout stuff, whether it's productivity oriented stuff, some hydration stuff. I'm also going to be getting a workout in later, so you'll see me maybe mix some things up. And yeah, with that being said, I'm going to get into it. We're going to, again, pretty much silently work here, but I'll be checking the comments and questions as we get into it. So let me check my tasks. Close that out. Hey, what's going on, love? I see you. Hola, hola. I'm just dropping in the comments. We got round 1, 20-minute sprint. Let's get after it, y'all. Where's my, of course, drop that task list. Where? Check my list. Yeah, let me set up check. Today, what do we got today? We got 7. I totally did get Gina. Oh, wait, cancel. There we go. Okay. schedule. Boom. Okay. And this is why I think having a coach comes in handy is like one of our clients, I'm just updating a little accountability check-in for them. And again, if you guys want accountability, that's what we have our coaching for. We have a variety of things we offer, but part of all of our programs, but especially our flagship, our 100-day coaching program, it's really not only about having a very clear plan, but it's about having the accountability to the plan. You can know exactly what to do. And I'm actually going to be talking about this later today on our office hours topic. It's one thing to know what to do, but a lot of us are not doing it. And why is that? That's what I'm gonna be diving into later, and we're gonna talk about that. But really, one of the simple things to do is like a lot of times we just don't have an accountability, either buddy, system, or coach that are tagging in for that. Okay, so now let's go to I'm gonna go into my let me get I gotta figure out how many it is. Let's do that. Too many windows open here, y'all. It's buffering. Exit. And we're back. We should be back. There we go. Let's make sure we got our screen share. Share screen, boom. We've got about, no, that's not right. Let me check my timer. We got about 8 minutes left. So let me reset this timer because this is off by a little bit. 8-minute timer. So we had a 20-minute window. Oh, what's up, Frank? Yeah, great alternative to coffee, right? Yes, yes. Yeah, so I've been like, and what I've been doing, dude, so check this out. I've been like mixing it with, I had a sponsor while we were away at the Castle House send me a, sea moss lemonade kind of pina colada blend, and it's 18 calories, but again, it has sugar alcohols in it, so that's like the one caveat. But I've been mixing this up. It's actually really good. It's not overwhelming from a flavor. It looks like it'd be overwhelming from the color, but the mixture is actually really good. Uh-oh, this live is down. Let's get our live back. Back live on TikTok as well. Dealing with all the technical difficulties. Had too many tabs open. I don't know if those with ADHD can relate. Getting too many tabs open is not going to be super productive. But I use this as an opportunity to pivot. This is the other thing when, things don't go according to plan. How can we pivot? So like everything froze and I was doing work and trying to take care of a couple things. I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this as an opportunity to actually be productive. And speaking of which, there's one thing I got in, and I'm going to tag another product here while we're talking about it. That I'm going to get into. This is a shape shifting. It's a really cool kind of like puzzle piece. I'll be honest with you. I don't have the patience to like open it properly. So I literally just ripped this thing open. But the cool thing about this is a great cognitive game and a puzzle. So this can be great for your kids. It can also be great. Where's my starting point here? Because like you pop it open. And you can do all these different types of shapes. So it's like as you open it up, it'll like transform into all these different types of shapes, and you can make a variety of different things. It's just really cool to play with from a tactile experience, I find, but also from a cognitive brain game. You can open it up almost like a what's that thing, like the not Tetris. Why am I drawing a blank? The point being, it's a great cognitive opportunity where you can like, while you're balancing on one leg, even from an exercise, do this. Or if you want to feel productive or help get some dopamine. So look, you can create all these different shapes. And that's why it's called a shapeshifter puzzle kind of game, in being able to create different things. So you can say like, all right, create this. And then now we tag it back. And you have these different like cool little objects you can kind of mess with. And being able to do that is a great way to stimulate different parts of our brain so we can feel productive and get dopamine. Got a cool little like shape here. And again, this is something that just tactily feels good. So now you create like these cool little pieces, almost like a snake. And my point of saying all this is another opportunity when we want to be productive. This can be a great like task transition tool, or before you even start your productivity sprint, doing something like this to again get dopamine. And it's just like fun to play with. So this is like just a really cool tool that I like kind of working with. I've had them before. This is the newest one they have. So I'm going to honestly like give it to the kids to let them play with it as well. And yeah, it's just like, again, you could like literally spend hours if you wanted to allow yourself to just like play with all the different shapes, and it just looks super cool. So this one's actually a little bit different. Each one has its own like components and setup, because I've seen some that'll like actually kind of pull apart a little bit more, so they'll have different patterns to it. But yeah, I just like love this kind of stuff, because again, from a brain chemistry perspective, a productivity, you can use this for dopamine, for releasing something called BDNF, brain derived neurotrophic factor, when you have to like problem solve or deal with different puzzles. It's just like a really cool tool, as it were, to leverage. And we got what, like 5 more minutes. So in these 5 minutes, I'm going to go into one task from a productivity perspective. I'll set this off. We'll dive into more products here in a bit, so stay tuned for that. But I do want to get a little bit of productivity done. I'm trying not to open up too many tabs while I'm doing this, because that will get a little crazy. But I'll be very intentional with one tab at a time. There we go. There's also last issues. All right, so they're looking for. Let's see if this is showing the right availability. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. Now we gotta get. What are we doing on time? We got like just under 2 minutes, y'all. Getting in the home stretch of round one. All right, we're gonna shrink that. Let's see if we got any questions. Okay. What's up? What's up? How we doing? How's it going? We're about to have our break here. We got 1 minute left in this productivity round. So just to give everyone a heads up, we got 1 minute left. Then we're going to take a 5-minute break. And then we're going to go into our second round of productivity. What I tend to like to do is usually do some type of stretching, but today's going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to use this time to set up an actual foot massager. So I have a foot massager coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight. I have a foot massager that Montrax sent me. They actually sent me two. This is just one of them. I've really been enjoying this. We actually got it on the retreat and we had a little like foot massage station and I loved it so much. I decided to bring it home. It was kind of a pain in the butt flying this thing back, but watch how simple it is. I literally have this thing right here. I'm going to plug it in. Look how simple it is. Plug this puppy in. It's now plugged in. And now what I'm going to do for my peeps on Amazon, come over here. Let's see if I can flip you guys around so you can kind of see what's going down. You're going to see how simple it is to get this thing set up. And then everywhere else, our timer is up. We're going to send out 5 minutes. I'm going to just turn this on. All right, I should plug it in first. So we have this plug right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to, not this plug, this plug. We're just going to pop this thing right into here. And then it's ready to power on. And I can pop my feet in, take my slippers off. Boom. And this thing is so clutch to have, like let's turn it off actually for a second so I can actually fit my feet in there. I turned it on a little too soon just so you guys can kind of see, but we're going to slide it in. Now, here's what I do recommend, especially if you're using it with multiple people. Have a pair of socks, but this is like literally only going to be the one that I use. I have another one for my fiance, Carrie, but it becomes easier when you actually have a pair of socks. To slide in and out. Also, it gets a little bit less funky, but turn it on. We're going to set it for 30 minutes. I'm going to do a low. We actually throw it up on the high and then we're off to the races, as it were. So this thing is like absolutely clutch, super easy to set up, and I really enjoy it. And we got great feedback from the guests, and Carrie has really enjoyed it. I got the first one for her as a gift. All right, so let's set. We got to put up a 3-minute timer now on our rest period. So we're going to reset, make that 3 minutes because I was talking for the first like 2. And we will get into our second productivity round. Boom. Pop. All right. So with that being said, the other thing I wanted to like kind of get into in this transitionary piece. Let me know how the audio sounds, y'all. Because I feel like it's not too loud. That's the other thing too to test out with this foot massager is like you can probably barely hear it. Or maybe you can. Let me know in the chat, in the comments if you can, if you're watching this live. But that's the other cool thing I really appreciate about this is it's not super loud. And then another thing I wanted to like highlight really quick is actually this hat I've got on right now. So this is just like normally on our, again, transitions here, I tend to rest, but I wanted to highlight a couple of the cool things. Shout out to Funky Junk for sending me the girl dad hat. I've really like honestly enjoyed this one. I like the style of it, whether it's the snapback, rocking it backwards. I just enjoy the fit and the feel. And like it almost feels like obviously a baseball hat, but like vintage style. The coloring makes me think of like vintage Yankee kind of hats. And I have had a huge hat collection from the Yankees throughout my entire childhood. So it kind of made me think of that, especially someone that played a lot of baseball. I just really enjoy the look and the feel. And they have so many really cool like hat designs where they have different things that you can say on it. And yeah, Frank says new favorite hat, right? Especially for you, Frank. Frank, congratulations. Right? We got yeah, I really just enjoy them and the how it feels and the adjustability, obviously. And then hit me with that question, Kyle. I see you. And lastly, really quick, I think we got about like a minute and a half left on this like switching over. Ooh, that's a great question. What is knee gauze? So think of it's not just from my experience, usually not just using them for your knees. The gauze that you can have, the wraps are things you can put on any kind of area. You could put on like elbows. It's really meant for a base layer. All right, man. So like I was gonna give it to you one time and just kind of transition with it, but we're not gonna go twice. But I appreciate the effort, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna really run it though. Like the gauze just in general. Are just a great kind of baseline layer if you're like for wraps, you have sprain or anything like that. I used to actually at one point want to be an athletic trainer. I was going to athletic trainer school, and that was something like learning how to like do different types of wraps and being able to use gauze and then being able to tape on top of that. And actually, for our fighters out there, for my martial artists, we use both gauze and tape to be able to wrap hands before a fight. But gauze in general, I think are great to have, emergency kit reasons, or just for like if you're about to train as that base layer, as it were. But okay, thank you for the laugh. And then with that being said, we're gonna get into our second productivity round. So we got like 5 seconds here. So I'm gonna get my Pomodoro timer set up. We're gonna go 20 minutes. Let's rock it. Round number 2. I'm gonna get a little bit more productivity done. So let's reset this. We're gonna add 5. Boom, boom. All right, 20 minutes off to the races. Round 2. 20 productivity. Let's go. All right. So while I'm kind of wrapping things up here before I go into my other tasks, I do want to get a couple of the products I was talking about in. So, you know what? We'll start with this one's honestly less of a health oriented. This is more of like a lifestyle, like side piece kind of thing that I want to share with you guys. Let me pull it up. Let's just highlight it here. So we've got this is one that I've been having a company and agency I work with send me some different like computer or tech parts. This is specifically a fan relay. So just being able to, again, if you don't want from overheating components, professional grade fan relay. This is specifically though for like industrial products, it looks like. So I've been having things mostly for computer part reasons. This is actually from like your house itself if you wanted to use it. Again, not something that I necessarily like relate to an active lifestyle per se, but just something they sent me. I was like, yeah, dude, I'll totally make a kind of video breaking down the questions and the details. I'm actually going to pull up on Amazon. A lot of times there'll be specific questions coming up. So I'm going to help you kind of answer some of these questions that are related to it. And the first thing I'll tell you right off the bat is the quality or the grade. Anytime the agency I work with sends me products, I will say for the most part, they're sending me really legit stuff where it's not, any kind of less than quality items. So I tend to trust when they send me things, but I always like to do my homework as well. So let's pull up some of the anticipated questions that come up with this. Like, so does this fit standard relay receptacles? What HVAC applications is this suitable for? How do I connect spade terminals? Why you might like this? I'm going to be honest. I'm not an electrician, so I'm going to just answer from my perspective as what I know from the company and what to pull up. So yes, you can use this as designed for standard receptacles first and foremost. Now, what relay form do I need? I got you. So this is going to come in an single pole, single throw configuration. However, this model offers multiple relay forms to choose from. So you can go that 8A capacity, which is what it shows, 12A changeover capacity, and 12A open/normally closed options. So again, I'm just kind of giving you guys from the company itself. Again, I'm not an electrician. So being able to look at what the configuration, commercial grade, you're going to be able to use it for that. Again, I like specifically thinking less on the computer side, more on the HVAC and the home side, but commercial grade quality. So you're going to not have to necessarily replace it more than once. This is going to be your move. And hopefully that helps as well. So this is something I honestly don't need right now. But one thing I have learned from dealing with the winter here in North Carolina, sometimes like with pipes freezing and heaters and craziness, like I like to have parts like this. This is where the hoarder in me kind of kicks in. I keep things like this because you never know when you're going to need it, kind of a deal. And I'd rather have it than not need it. But it's something I might honestly throw up on like Facebook Marketplace for someone else that might need it, or I might even do like a like random mystery box. I'll throw this in there with a bunch of other things and sell it for like, I don't know, $100. And I'll have like $1,000 worth of stuff in it, or like $500 worth of stuff in it. This might be one of the smaller items in there, but I just thought that was interesting. Now, this is where it's actually more inherently like directly related to what's going on in our life right now with our dog, Misha. So we have a dog, a German Shepherd, Misha, and she unfortunately broke her leg recently. So she's been kind of cooped up in the crate. She had to get surgery on her leg. So wanting to get different things for her, I think it was like a self-care. Now, this doesn't probably seem super exciting or sexy, but I think it's something we can give her that maybe just like gives her almost like what feels like a reward. And just trying to engage with her. And in general, taking care of your dog's coat, their skin becomes helpful. And then there's a couple of questions that are popping up. So can this supplement help with dry skin? Does it have a fishy smell? Is it made with natural ingredients? So let's just look at a couple of these things and break that down. So it is specifically used to help with dry skin, first and foremost. Yes. Now let's look at some of the other kind of, again, related questions that came up. For example, does it have a fishy smell, and is it with natural ingredients? So first, I'm going to give you the smell test, which I can tell you no right away, just from like, if it had a fishy smell, it'd be like popping through. No, right off the bat, I can tell you no fishy smell. It contains a mix of natural and processed ingredients. The main natural source are salmon oil, flaxseed, and fish oil. It does have some brewer's yeast. Honestly, if anything, I smell the brewer's yeast the most. And then rose hips. However, it includes some preservatives. It's got sorbic acid and some other processed ingredients. So if you want it purely all natural, this may not be the move. That's one thing I talk about for whether it's for your dog or for yourself. Like it's all on a spectrum, right? Like it depends on if you're like going from nothing to this, that can be a positive. But if you want to really enhance their overall quality of life and those types of things, this may not be the move for you, but it's all just, again, on a spectrum. So that's something that like I wanted to address. And then we have two more. There actually should be a second one. One of the other things that I wanted to dive into was our body or our bathing wipes. So this is something special, I think, for like my daughter, now this is not necessarily with just kids in mind, but I think of like bathing wipes for her, but also from like working in a geriatric facility and population. Like these are the kind of things that let's kind of look at what questions might come up with this as well. And the one thing I would say before I like even use it on like our daughter or anything like that, this is where I'm way more mindful for the kids, like ingredients. And again, our skin is our largest organ. So we want to be mindful of like what is in here. One thing I got from working with Michelle Colkin, one of our coaches, is looking for ingredients. So can these wipes be used on sensitive skin? So if you think about this, this is like a refreshing post-workout. So for my like jiu-jitsu peeps or working out peeps, now again, this isn't, in my humble opinion, going to replace obviously taking a shower or anything like that. But being able to have like a no rinse, like kind of wipe off, it's great for sensitive skin. They're hypoallergenic, alcohol free, and dermatologist tested. So the formula is going to include, we got aloe vera, avocado oil, vitamin E, moisturizer, and calming the skin. Actually, our chef that was at the retreat, he's allergic to avocado oil, so this is not one for him. But being able to have this, let's actually feel it. So this is something I think about where I see this fitting in my life is like keeping these in my gym bag and being able to, whoa, these are like heavy duty. Dang. It's more, okay, I was going to say that's like, this is more than one. So smells nice. And being able to do it from like, let's say you get a sweaty workout, you're like, all right, I'm going to wipe off, whatever, boom. Let's say you're out camping, stuff like that. That could be helpful. Or just, again, getting a workout before you get home to refresh if they don't have a shower. I think about even like going to jiu-jitsu or my martial arts gyms. Like if they don't have a shower there, I use wipes like this to kind of just quickly wipe off before we get in the actual shower, still showering, but using it as an option. And then being able to have it for post-workout, being able to have it for hiking, high activities. If you don't have like a tremendous amount of time, this can be a quick wipe off. Also for caregiving, being able to deal with, again, the geriatric population. I was thinking this was originally when I got these, I was like, oh, they're like cloths for the bath. This is actually something I probably wouldn't necessarily need to use for Hope. You could, like, we could use this to wipe her off, but I'm very mindful of like what we put on her skin as a baby. But this is actually really solid ingredients. Again, avocado oil, sage, aloe vera, vitamin E. Doesn't really have anything that's going to be like too concerning. And yeah, it's, again, travel friendly. Let's look at how many actually packs. I believe it said in this package we have 8 at a time. So yeah, 8 extra. So we got large, moistened, soft, thick wipes. So these are, yeah, there's 8 in here. That's pretty solid to have 8 in it. And then you have 6 pouches with 8 wipes in each individual one. So you got 48 total wipes here altogether, which is honestly pretty solid. I'm going to leave this right here. I'm going to now have to use these because once you open up the whole thing, it's like pretty much you're going to have to use all 8. I don't see a resealable option for it. That's the only, oh no, it totally does. I was just impatient. Here's what I would recommend. There's a resealable option right here, guys. Don't rip it open like I just did. Use the resealable option. But yeah, this is great for like gym, travel, camping, hiking. I'm actually going to save this for when we're going to go hiking this year and do some, when I say hiking, I mean, really, we're going to go camping. So I'm going to save some of this for when we do go camping for the kids and whatnot. And this can be great for like, hey, in between, like, honestly, like I'm going to do a workout today. I'm actually not even going to live stream, but I'm probably not going to have enough time after my workout before I go into my coaching calls. I'm not going to shower until tonight. So this can be a quick way to like wipe off before. So I'm not like just walking around all funky, but I appreciate just having stuff like this as well. Okay, I think that pretty much answers all the questions around that. Let's see what else we got. I think we got one more as far as our gloves. I don't think I have those in here. So we're going to just leave that for now. And then the last thing I guess we do have is our tub shroom or our shower shroom. So I've worked with this company before, and also shout out, I believe all the stuff they make is like produced in Farmingdale or manufactured in Farmingdale. Originally Farmingdale, Long Island. Yeah, Farmingdale, New York, Long Island. What? But this is like, dude, I've had a variety of their stuff. It's simple. It doesn't seem like super complicated, but this is just stuff that, like, if you don't want hair down your drain, if you want a simple fix, this is quality stuff. I've used, I think, 3 or 4 of their different variations of products. They've all worked well. They're kind of, again, relatively universal fits. And if they're not, they have the sizing and the adjustments that you need. Again, you can remove the drain cover, insert this for the drain opening with the small included mushroom in place, boom, and then you get all the hair out. It's pretty solid, honestly. And they have a variety of like options and sizing and fits, guaranteed to prevent drained or clogged drains. And yeah, literally, like it says, it takes literally seconds to do it. I'm going to just double check to see what questions, if we have any on this from Amazon, so I can help answer anybody's questions related to this, because I always love, this is where I love AI. Like they just shoot you the questions that people are asking, and it becomes very helpful. Okay, can it be used in bathtub? For sure, yes. It's super easy to install and can prevent all types of hair from clogging. Yeah, it's meant to be able to get all that hair drainage or hair clogging prevented down the drain. And then it will fit most bathtub drains. You won't be able to fill the tub with the water since, yeah, of course, it's a drainer. So that's the only thing. It's like if you're using this, you're not going to actually be able to use the bathing components for a shower, right? So just keep that in mind. This is meant for specifically showers. If you need a bath, this is not going to be the move for you, because it's not going to be able to block it the way the sizing and the spacing of it is. But still really helpful from a catcher for hair, so you don't get those clogged drains and pipes. All right, with that being said, I think we've got what, like 15, not even? How much time we got left on our workflow? We got 8 minutes. So for the last 8 minutes, I pretty much covered all the products. I'm going to go back to my checklist here to see what we got. All right, yeah, I got to get access for one of my assistants into one of my accounts. And then bam, see, now I got my foot massagers already done. That was a nice 15-minute little like foot massage going. That's the thing I appreciate about this, is you can get yourself a nice little like 15-minute self-care session in, and it just feels good. My feet feel good now. It's nice. And I can even might even potentially leave this thing here just so that I have some more options later today, but I'm going to swap it over to the side. This is like, it's so simple to like plug and use. So really no complaints on that. Boom. There we go. Let me check to see if it doesn't look like we have any more questions. Let's keep it rocking. Okay. Let's see if I can give there's access to this. Let's see. Okay. No, why am I not seeing that? Setting. Oh, okay, here we go. Boom. Okay. And, okay. Let's let it email. Okay. Oh, there we go. Everything okay. 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 Details. What about? Okay. Yeah. What about here? Settings. Access. Okay, let's see how we're doing on time. We got like 4 minutes. So I don't think she needs that anyway. Okay. All right, let's send Liz a message here. Get into the home stretch. All right, we got like a minute and a half left, y'all. We're starting to slowly bring it home. Wrapping this puppy up. Let's see. All right, looks like our time is officially up, y'all. So that is the end of round number 2. Kudos to everybody for getting it in today. That's going to bring it home. I will be back tonight. I'm going to be doing a live office hours at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be going over, what to do, but why aren't you doing it? Basically, that's going to be the theme. You already know what to do. You have the information, but you're having a challenge around implementing and getting it actually done. So we're going to go over what is going on there, what can you actually do about that, and where there might be some gaps in the knowledge to the action and intentional action specifically. So that speaks to you. I'll see you at the live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you're watching this. Or if you want to catch the replay, we're going to have the replay up as well. Speaking of our office hours, we have last week's office hours out, or the one that I shot last week is now going to be out. You can check our blog, get on our newsletter, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all hopefully later tonight. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Later, everybody. Peace. Bye, y'all.